This hangout is live, so welcome you guys to this playtest adventure of Star Trek Adventures. We'll start out with a captain's log. The captain of the USS Sojourner is Trill, a stern-looking Vulcan woman. You guys are all on the bridge at the moment, and she is sitting in the center seat recording a captain's log. Captain's log, stardate 48217.4. Continues its mission, charting planetary systems in the far reaches of the Beta Quadrant. So far, our scans have revealed no signs of any new spacefaring peoples, but our orders remain clear. Conduct in-depth sensor scans of all unexplored planetary systems along our flight path with the potential to support intelligent life. We're currently en route to Gamma Quadrant 3, an M-class world with an atmosphere likely capable of sustaining life. So with that, let's go around to you guys, and you guys can sort of introduce your character and sort of describe what your character is doing on the bridge at this moment as you guys are warping through space to this unexplored planetary system. We'll start with Wayne.
Okay. I'm Cmdr Oshyl Thonir, Andorian. You're excellent. And I'm actually standing by one of the science stations and all that with the science officer, who I believe is, I forgot the name. I had the list and I can't find it. Okay, anyways. And we're just going over what we're finding out about Gamma Quadrant 3 and all that, and how we would determine our landing party if we should go down to the surface.
Okay, well, that's a good opportunity to transition to Stephen, who is the science officer sitting at that science console. What are you doing?
I am Lieutenant Ermis Antoniou, the science officer. I imagine I'm just keeping an eye on the scientific levels and stuff like that.
Okay. Let's go to Dillon. What are you doing on the bridge right now?
I'm just sorry if it took me so long. I had to find some headphones because my audio sucks. I'm just looking through everyone, just analyzing them, trying to keep them all peacefully calm and all that.
Okay, and you are playing Lieutenant Commander Sabin Jiral. And what's your role on the ship?
Yes, sir.
What's your role on the
ship? Chief of Security.
Security Chief. Cool. Excellent. So yeah, right now you're seeing all systems are nominal. There's no sign of any sort of trouble. Things are fairly quiet right now. So far, your mission in the Beta Quadrant has been a pretty uneventful one. That would bring us to Wesley, correct?
Yep. As the chief engineer, would I be in this moment in engineering, or am I up on the bridge doing something?
Now you're on the bridge. You can transfer.
Right. No problem.
You can transfer the engineering. Basically, the computer console. There's a station assigned to engineering right now. That's
excellent. So my character's name is Cordal Nosil. Most people just call me Nosil. My symbiont. I am a Trill engineer. I'm kind of socially awkward. You know, I understand machines better than I understand other people. And I probably finished doing some modifications down in engineering, and I'm making sure that the bridge computer is relaying all those modifications clearly to any bridge officers that might be up there in the future.
Awesome. So while you are doing these modifications on your beloved Galaxy-class starship, why don't you go ahead and give me a reason plus engineering roll. This will be a difficulty 0. So you can't really fail, but this will just see how well you're running the ship's engines right now at war.
Reason plus engineering, so that totals to 16, and I rolled 2d20. I rolled an 18 and a 10, so one's a fail and one's a success.
Yep. So one success. It was, like I said, it was a difficulty 0.
Yeah.
So one success. The ship is running quite smoothly. You guys are making. You can decide whatever warp factor you're running at right now, and I will award you 1 point of momentum for being able to run the engines as smoothly as you are, Chief Engineer.
We are probably going a bit slower than we could just because of those modifications I was making. So we're going at warp factor 6. And once I finish calibrating this bridge computer, we'll probably pump it up to get to Gamma Cutis 3 even quicker.
Okay, awesome. So you can, if you like, you can spend this point of momentum now to somehow improve, to create a modest improvement in the ship systems, or you can bank it later for someone else or yourself to use. Up to you.
I'm gonna bank it for the group.
Okay, cool. All right. So everyone has introduced themselves. The activity is going fairly smoothly on the bridge. And at this point, an alert rings out from the long-range sensors from Gamma Cutis 3, this planetary system that you're approaching. And let's see, that would be, so Lieutenant Antoniou, sitting at the science console, you see this alert ringing out from the long-range sensors.
Gonna check it out.
Okay. So you would probably run a sensor sweep, and that will be reason plus con.
Okay.
You add those two numbers together, then roll your 2d20s to try to roll lower than that. This will be a difficulty 1. It's a fairly routine task.
Okay. So it's a 13. I rolled a 1 and a 12.
Okay, so the 1 is a critical success. That counts as 2 successes, and the 12 is 1 success. So you got 3. So that's either 2 points of momentum that you can bank, or you can use them right now to somehow improve the quality of success of the sensor sweep you just ran. Would you like me to tell you what you found first, and then you can decide?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have this long-range sensor sweep that you just ran. Has discovered some sort of positronic signature. You know that positronic networks are used for artificial intelligence, and that they're fairly rare. In fact, there's only one Federation scientist that you know of in the history of the Federation who's been able to create a stable positronic net. So this would be of great scientific interest to the Federation if this turns out to be true.
Yeah, this is definitely something we should investigate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Would you care to use any of the momentum that you just earned, or do you want to bank it?
Probably gonna bank it.
Okay. So you guys currently have 3 points of momentum, and I'm going to give myself 1 point of threat for each character that starts the game. So that gives me 4 points to start the game. So the Captain Trill has heard about this long-range sensor alert, and she wants to know what you guys know about positronic networks. Does anyone have experience with artificial intelligence or cybernetics?
Oh,
Negative.
negative. Wait, what is it again?
Positronic networks.
Nope, negative.
Okay. So Captain Trill, who is a Vulcan and a keen scientific mind, would explain that Lieutenant Commander Data of the Enterprise is a Soong-type android, and that he runs on a positronic brain, and that the renowned Federation scientist Noonien Soong is the only one who's ever been able to successfully create positronic brains. In fact, some of the best scientists in the Federation have tried to copy his designs and have never been successful. Here's the engines. She's interested in this, and she orders the engines go up to warp 9 to complete the journey. And she asks the commander to get ready for an away mission to the planet's surface to investigate this positronic signature.
Okay. Is this on a planet, or is this just out in space?
It's on a planet. You are approaching a system called, the planet is Gamma Cutis 3. It's a Class M world. As far as, it's never been explored before, but as far as you know, it does not support any sort of intelligent life, which also is a bit of a mystery why there might be a positronic net there.
Right. Okay. Then I call on Lieutenant Barad, the medical officer, Lieutenant Commander Jiral, the security officer, and I'll take Lieutenant Antoniou, the science officer, along with me.
Okay.
Typical party of 4. a la the Next Generation?
Yeah. And Captain Trill suggests that an engineer also go, just in case this positronic network it might pose some engineering challenges as well.
Okay, it hasn't been introduced. Who's the engineering officer? I'm bringing the. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
The whole crew.
Yeah, basically the whole crew. Right.
Yep. Right on.
Right. Okay.
Do you guys? What sort of preparations would you like to make? It's probably an hour or two before you arrive in orbit. Now that you've increased your speed.
Gonna make sure that my equipment is functioning properly.
Yeah, I'll probably prepare like an engineering toolkit to take with me.
I would just do the same thing. Prepare my weapons, just in case if we go under attack off the bat.
Yep. Yeah. So it sounds like you guys have tested your equipment. You've run your diagnostics. It looks like you're ready to go down to the planet's surface. Unless there's anything else, Captain Trill will order you to report to Transporter Room 1 to beam down.
Okay. And then I will say, it's done. Then we transport down.
So you guys are going to be beaming down into the unknown. What do your characters think about that?
I'm nervous but very excited.
Why
By the prospect of this new technology.
I will.
My character.
I will.
Oh, I'll let you go, Dill.
No, you go first.
All right. The chief engineer, Lieutenant Nosum, is very, very nervous. New experiences have a high probability of going south pretty fast, so he's kind of nervous and kind of on his toes, kind of hoping for the best but expecting the worst.
New places excites me, and enjoy the new outcast futuristics.
Yeah, so for Starfleet officers, I can imagine this would be pretty exciting, especially ones that have been on kind of an uneventful mission so far. You're beaming down to an unknown world, one that no Federation officer has ever seen before. And I'm going to introduce a couple of directives. These are sort of features of the game. They're sort of standing orders, and that when you do something dangerous or risky that upholds these orders, you can use your determination point. And a determination point, like I said, basically gives you an automatic crit. So the directives for this away mission are what I'm calling Boldly Go, which is explore unknown locations. The second directive is Seek Out New Life, which is in order to make first contact with any intelligence you encounter, no matter what form it may take. So you guys are standing on the transporter pad. Do you have any last words, any last preparations before you beam down to Gamma Ketis 3?
Nope. I just tell the transporter operator, engage.
Okay. And the young ensign sweeps his hand across the console.
I couldn't resist at least saying that once. I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here to play Star Trek, man, so please do. So the young ensign sweeps his hand across the console, and you guys are enveloped in the sparkling, swirling lights. You feel a sense of disorientation for a moment, and then when the transporter effect fades away, you find yourself standing in the middle of a courtyard, surrounded by a complex of buildings. But the courtyard appears to have been abandoned for a long, long time. It's choked with weeds and vines. A cold wind kind of sweeps overhead. The clouds are overcast and gray. You can see directly in front of you, there's a large tower rising up. Looks like it is probably fairly technically advanced, with electronics kind of rising up to this tower. To your right, you see that there are a bunch of smaller buildings which are in a state of disrepair. Some of them have collapsed completely. Some of them look intact. And to your left, you can see that there is a large, squat, short building, but it's large, it's expansive. Looks like it might be like a warehouse or something. And then behind you, as you turn around and look, you see this vast vista of what was once probably a large urban city, but it's almost completely collapsed. And in such a state of disrepair, you probably wouldn't even want to venture out into it because it would be too dangerous. What do you do?
Okay. All right. Then I'll pick out my tricorder and have the others have theirs. Telling the security officer to check for life signs. Probably even starting to head, looking in the direction of the collapsed city.
You bet.
Have Lieutenants Nosil, Antoniou, and Barad look for the positronic signature that we received while we were coming to the planet, and any other energy sources. And then in the direction of the warehouse and in the courtyard and the other buildings, I will also look for life signs.
Okay. So I would like anyone who's going to make
let me amend that. Let me amend that. Lieutenant Barad, the medical officer, also checking not only for the positronic signature, but also for life signs too, being the medical officer. Right.
Yep. Okay. So each of you give me a reason plus, we'll say con test as you use your tricorders to scan your surroundings.
Reason plus con.
Yep.
I got one success and one fail. So one success from Nazem.
Okay. It is a difficulty 1 check or difficulty 1 task. And so you succeed. Nazem, what were you scanning for?
I was scanning for positronic activity.
Yeah, so you detect several positronic signatures basically coming from this complex. You don't detect anything in the abandoned city outside, but you detect several positronic signatures coming most strongly from that warehouse building. You also notice that when you scan for positronic signatures from that tower, it's almost like a sensor blind spot. Your scans bounce right back to you.
All right. I probably double check that just to be sure, because maybe my eyes are deceiving me.
Yeah.
And while I'm double checking that, you can see what the other guys found before I relay that information.
Okay. Who else wants to do a scan?
All right. Checking for life signs and all that, other than positronic, just seeing if there's people around. I rolled 2 successes, 8 and a 7.
You rolled an 8 and a 7?
Yeah.
Okay. So those are both successes. You'll generate a point of momentum. You detect no intelligent life signs, at least biological in nature. Would you care to use any of your momentum to improve the quality of that success?
Actually, in this case, I think I shall, just in case to go into a deeper survey and all that. Expanding it to any type of life form, not just humanoid or any kind of similar life forms known to the Federation.
Yep, you bet. You can detect all sorts of a wide variety of plant and animal life, as you'd expect on a Class M world. You're not detecting anything that looks humanoid or biologically intelligent.
Very good.
But you also don't detect anything that looks like an immediate threat either.
Very good.
Doctor, are you performing a scan?
I am. I got a 15 on my con and a 9 on my reason.
Okay, the 9 is a success, so that'll work. And what are you scanning for?
To see if there's like any humble, friendly life forces to talk to see where this alien technology is coming from. Yeah.
So you do detect lots of alien technology specifically. In fact, I'm going to create a trait. I don't know if any of you have played Fate Core before, but Star Trek Adventures has things called traits, which are basically just facts about a scene that are true, and you can interact with them either by performing tasks or spending momentum. So this trait is called "You're being watched." With that tricorder scan for alien technology, you realize that there are what look to be automated cameras and surveillance devices all over this complex that are watching you. Does anyone else care to do anything?
I was also scanning for positronic stuff going on. I got 2 successes.
Okay, so that generates a point of momentum. And you confirm what the engineer was scanning for, that there appear to be several different positronic signatures all around you in this complex. Do you care to improve on that with the use of your momentum?
Once he says that, you see the chief engineer give a sigh of relief. It's like, okay, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, we'll improve on that.
Okay.
And I'm going to...
So you spend a point of momentum and you kind of double check your findings, and you realize that rather than several sources of positronic matrices, it's only one positronic matrix, but it's coming from several different sources.
Okay. I'm going to absent-mindedly back way towards wherever I sensed it.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I'm going to just start walking towards wherever I sensed it without...
Yeah, so that will take you in the direction of that large warehouse building.
Right.
Approach, you see that it's also kind of in a state of disrepair, though not nearly so bad as those smaller buildings on the other side of the courtyard. You can see that there was probably what looked to be like a large set of double doors on the front, but they've sort of fallen off their hinges. Pull it open pretty easily to get inside.
Okay.
I'm going to call back. I think I found something. And just walking in.
Okay. Will the rest of the away team join you?
Yeah, I call everybody together. I also tell them to have phasers ready.
Yep, that's probably
all right.
Good precaution.
Okay.
So you're able to sort of pull open one of these doors, and it kind of shrieks on its hinges for a moment before it falls open. And as you step inside into the dim light, something happens as the sound of the doors emanate, and this dome of energy crackles to life overhead, engulfing the entire complex, sort of centering on this large tower that you saw next to the courtyard. And that will create another trait for this scene, which is cut off from the ship, as you realize that this energy shield is going to keep you from beaming back to the Sojourner. It's also going to keep you from using communicators to talk to them.
Oh.
Great.
I'm going to start a scan on that. Let's begin to hyperventilate.
Yep, go ahead and give me a tricorder, please.
All right. What attribute and discipline am I doing?
We'll use reason and con.
All right, so that is 15. Hey,
And
2 successes.
Okay.
11 and a 15.
Okay, that'll generate a point of success as you realize that this is, it confirms what you suspected, that you're now cut off from the ship, and it looks like this dome is perfectly centered on the spire of this large tower at the center of the complex.
Would it be too much to deduce that if we are to break this field, this dome, we need to get to its power source in the tower where it's emanating from?
Yeah, you think that would probably be a pretty good...
All right. I stutter and stumble over that explanation as I tell our commanding officer.
Okay. All right. Then the only thing I can, especially concerning the science and chief engineer, Nosil and Antoniou, I ask them, with what we're dealing with, then options, ideas. Basically, I'm asking them for where we stand.
Chief Engineer says at this point, it would be best to return to the ship as soon as possible. So if we can find a way to shut off the dome, then we should be good.
Okay.
Can I get sciencey and try to figure out how this works?
Figure out how what works.
Try to figure out where there might be a power source or any kind of like shut off.
Point to the tower. Can we still see the tower?
Yeah, you guys haven't gone inside.
Yeah.
You're just kind of standing on the threshold of that warehouse.
All right. I point to. Is it obvious that from the tower is almost the center point of this dome?
Yep.
Yeah.
It looks that way, and you confirmed it with your tricorder scan.
All right. I show him my tricorder to relay that information about the tower.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Next thing to do then is to head for the tower. But using looking to my security officer, Jiral, and saying, what do you think? Standard security procedure?
I would say yes, but to stay together very closely just in case if anything happens.
All right. So then we'll use we'll call it security procedure 3. Tight groups of 2 or 3, flanking it, coming into the center. In other words, the door, and getting ready to go in.
So you guys are going to go towards the tower then, rather than the warehouse. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this sort of tightly packed defensive formation, you make your way across the courtyard to the tower. As you approach, you see that there are markings on the sort of shiny metallic surface of this tower. The universal translator is able to translate those markings, even though they're in an alien language. And it says something called Horizon Engineering. It also has kind of a symbol on it that looks like sort of a half a sun rising up above a horizon, a horizontal line. You also see there's a set of doors on the front.
All right. Is it 2 separate doors or just a set of double doors?
A set of double doors, I'm sorry.
Very good.
With some steps leading up to them.
Okay. All right. Motion to Jiral and Antoniou to head up first and post themselves on one side of the double doors and have them head up, and then I'm getting ready to come with Barad and Nosil on the second run up the stairs and to be on the other side of the double doors.
Okay. Who of Jiral and Antoniou, which of you will approach the doors first?
I will.
Okay.
I'm excited and overeager.
Yeah. So you are you make your way up the stairs towards these doors. A chime sounds that indicates to you that the door is locked. It's kind of like a and then you also notice that there are 2 devices on either side of the door that almost look like they sort of remind you of security cameras. And they sort of send out this green-colored laser that instantly scans your communicator, your tricorder, your phaser, whatever sort of mechanical devices you have on your person. It scans each one of them in just the blink of an eye, and then the laser sort of retracts, and all is silent.
And the door's still locked, I assume.
Yes.
All right. I have a theory that we need to find someone who lives here and shove their face in front of this laser. I don't know how to accomplish that. It's only a theory.
All right. Well, this seems to be being Horizon Engineering. All right. Are you both now at the side of the door anyway, or have you stopped right where you were when the light hit? And has Jiral stopped too? I'm asking.
I'll just.
Yeah.
Are you asking me or?
Or I mean, I sent up Jiral and
Antoniou.
Yeah.
first.
I just stand there and see what will happen, and then think of another plan.
Okay.
I'm looking over the security system, see if I know anything about it.
Yeah. Do you want to? You can sort of scan it or touch it. There, whatever you'd like to do. How do you examine it?
I'll scan it first.
Okay. So this is alien technology, so I'm going to say this is a difficulty 2 task to successfully scan it with your tricorder because it's sort of strange to you.
All right. Am I doing reason and con again?
Yep, reason and con. Now, if you like, because this is a difficulty 2, which basically means both of your d20s have to roll under your target number for you to succeed. If you like, you can decide now to spend one of your momentum to give you an extra d20. You can do that up to 3 times, so you can have up to 3 extra d20s. You can also create a point of threat for me to gain a d20 if you like.
Okay. While he's doing that, I'm telling Nosil and Barad to stay behind at the bottom of the steps, and I'm slowly pacing my way up to Antoniou and Jiral. And before he makes his roll, technical advice. So if one of his rolls fail, and I can provide technical information to allow him to re-roll 1 die 20.
Awesome.
Okay.
Good to go. So I got 1 success, 1 fail.
Okay. So your commander approaches behind you, and he offers you a little bit of advice to sort of tighten the bandwidth of your scan, so you can re-roll that failure if you like.
Natural 1.
Okay, so that is 3 successes when you needed 2, so you generate a point of momentum. Would you like to spend it to improve the quality of your success, or just let it roll the way it is?
I will improve the quality this time.
Momentum that you just generated, and you're able, because of the advice of your commander, you're able to figure out exactly what's going on here. These devices are not interested in the biology of your beings. They're only interested in your technology. They're scanning for a specific code of sort of like software programming code that will unlock the door. Currently, the technology that you have with you does not have this code, and you're not sure what that code would be.
Okay. Then learning this, I call up Lieutenant Nosil, the chief engineer, to work with Antoniou on trying to come up with some kind of, working on this idea of a code that is necessary to open these doors.
You see Chief Engineer Nosim's eyes light up with excitement, this prospect. And he shuffles up the steps, opens up his tricorder, just has his toolkit on the side in case he needs it. And he gives a bright eyes over to Lieutenant Antoniou.
Okay.
Going to say under my breath, this is pretty cool, right?
Awesome.
I'm a specialist in polymathematics, so ciphering codes is one of my favorite pastimes.
Me too, actually. All right.
I hear Antoniou and Nosil starting a code makers league on their own.
So yeah, I should also mention that your character sheets have a number of focuses, and those focuses basically allow they would allow you to crit on more than just one. They would allow you to crit on the number of the discipline that you're using. So if you've got odds of crit.
I have a focus in analysis, analyzing problems. If I could use it just to initiate, like to find out what type of code is it looking for. Is it binary code? Is it some type of character? Is it? So I'd like to analyze the security system and find out what type of input it's looking for. If it's just a straight computer code or something a bit more complex.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a reason plus engineering test, and your analysis focus will apply. So whatever your engineering score is, you will crit on that up to that number. If you roll, like if your engineering is a 4, then you would crit on a 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Oh, cool. So I just got to keep it under 16, 2d20 coming up. And there's a 4 in there and a 15. So one success, well, 2 successes, 1 is a crit.
Okay, so two successes, 1 of which is a crit. So that's 3 total successes.
Yep.
Okay, that was the target number to sort of decipher this alien technology. As you step up to one of these devices and you're able to lift the cover off of it and examine its circuitry and analyze its code. And you realize that this looks a lot to you like it's been infected by some sort of like old style computer virus, like a worm, and that the technology that will grant you entrance into this tower must also have that sort of viral code within it. So this technology has been infected, and it is not acting in the manner in which it was designed to act.
Ooh, I tell that to Antonio immediately.
Would my focuses and experimental equipment or sensor systems help at all in trying to solve that problem?
Maybe experimental equipment in the sense that if you were able to find a piece of technology that's also been infected by this virus, you would be able to open the door with it.
Right.
Take some of your technology and infect it with this virus yourself, like induce the virus.
Do I have the ability to do that right now?
You do. It would be a pretty difficult test. There might be ways for you to make that test a little easier.
All right. Do you have a talent called testing a theory that doesn't apply to that exactly, but this would be testing a theory?
When you attempt a task using engineering or science, you may roll 1 additional d20 as long as you have completed previous tasks. Okay, so yeah, I would say from now on, you are able to use testing a theory because you've now scanned this alien technology, you've gained a little bit of experience with it. So from now on, whenever you're dealing with this sort of virally infected alien technology, you'll have a little bit more familiarity with it. You'll be able to use your testing a theory talent.
All right. I'm going to try to infect my tricorder, I guess.
You're going to infect your tricorder?
I'll infect the communicator.
Your communicator. Okay.
Anyways,
so this will be a difficulty 4 test. You can use your testing a theory to give yourself an extra d20. You can also spend momentum to get extra d20s. You can also pay threat to get extra d20s.
Is there a way I can assist him in this?
Yes, you can. You absolutely can. So you will, when you assist, you roll 1 d20 instead of 2.
Okay.
So the most you can possibly give him is from that 1 d20. You would be using your reason plus engineering skill, and Antonio, you'd be using reasoning. I don't know, probably also engineering, I would think, because you're sort of working with technology here.
Okay.
All right. So I'm rolling my 1. A success on the assist. Got a 9.
And I still need to roll 2, right?
Okay. Yep. Well, you now roll 3 because of your testing a theory talent.
Okay. So the recent engineering is 15. I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 13.
Okay. So that's 4 successes plus the 1 from your engineer buddy helping you. So you actually succeed with style. You create a point of momentum, and you're able to induce the virus into your communicator. And when you do this, a couple things happen. the scanner on the door sends out that laser across your communicator, and when it does that, these double doors open up, and this whiff of stale air sort of comes out into your face. Also at this point, when this door opens, you sort of hear the sounds of technology whirring to life, sort of powering up, and sort of staggering across the courtyard from that warehouse building. You see a couple of strange-looking devices. They almost have humanoid torsos, but they're completely mechanical. They've got 4 extremities, and they're sort of staggering towards you. And you realize they're almost like Frankenstein's monsters androids. Like they've just been fashioned from various pieces of mechanical components that weren't necessarily designed to go together. Towards you across the courtyard. Your security officer, who's probably on guard right now, is the first to notice them. This sort of weed-choked courtyard. So what do you guys do?
I call out to Lieutenant Commander Jiral. You don't think that this dome that's obstructing us is the only defense system on this planet?
I don't think so. I think we have ourselves a handful of androids to take care of.
Very well. I meekly ready my phaser.
So yeah, this will be a combat situation because these guys definitely mean business, and you guys have successfully deduced that these are sort of a defensive mechanism. So Jiral, because you're the security officer and you've got the most combat training, you basically get to act first in this combat. So these guys basically combat in Star Trek Adventures runs on zones, which is also sort of a Fate core concept. You can move anywhere within the zone of this courtyard without, counting squares or making movement or anything like that. You can get all the way up to within reach of them, or you can move to any of the other zones in the area as well that are adjacent to the space, which would be the tower, the warehouse, the smaller buildings. So you can basically get minor actions, which would be the movement, and then your major action, which would most likely be an attack.
Okay.
So, Jiral, what do you do?
I will ready my phaser and I'm gonna see and be adjacent by a few squares in front of one of the androids.
Okay.
And aim at him.
So you run up a little bit closer to these approaching androids. You level your phaser. Firing at them is a ranged attack, which is control plus security. That's going to be your target number, and you're going to roll 2d20s, trying to roll lower than that target number. Successfully landing a ranged attack is always a difficulty 2.
Okay.
So Jiral, what is your control plus security?
10, control 10, and security 4.
Okay, so 14 is your target number. You're going to roll 2d20s and hope that they're both 14 or lower.
Okay. I made one fail.
Okay,
I made
so one
another
success.
fail.
Okay, so you run up and you fire your phaser at these creatures. Let me ask you, were you firing set to stun as your commander ordered, or had you leveled it up to like a disrupt setting?
Disrupt setting.
Okay, so you leveled it up to kill. You just kind of missed. You get up and fire at this thing, and it sort of whizzes past the creature's torso. You also notice as you get a little closer, these androids don't have anything that look like humanoid heads. They're sort of strangely shaped. And when that happens, as you got a little closer, one of the androids immediately closes the distance after you missed with your shot, and it's going to sort of slam into you with its mechanical arm. I've got. And so how this works is it moves up within reach of you, and it slams into you. And this will be a contest. So, Jiral, I need you to roll plus security. Roll 2d20s and see how many successes you get.
So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 or below?
Yep.
I failed twice.
Okay, the android succeeded on both of its attacks. So basically it's a contest. The android got 2 successes, you got 2 failures. So its melee attack is successful, so it's going to roll damage. Let's see.
Okay.
Nothing. So it rolls 2 stress worth of damage against you as it runs up and slams its mass into your body. And so you've got a number of stress on your character sheet, and you'll mark off 2 of those.
Okay, I did that.
So now any of the rest of you, basically no initiative. You kind of decide when you get to go. So you guys have just watched your security officer run up and miss with his phaser. The android immediately closed the distance and slammed into him. This gives one of you an opportunity to act.
I'll try. Also setting it to kill.
Okay. So that will be a difficulty 2, control plus security task, and you can use you've got 4 points of momentum right now. You can use those to buy extra d20s if you like.
Okay. So I need a 10 or less, is what you're saying, right?
If that is your control plus security, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And I can use my extra die roll.
If you spend one of your 4 points of momentum to do so, you can get an extra d20.
Yep, I'm gonna do that. 1 extra. Okay. Okay. So I had a fail and 2 successes. The 2 successes, 7 and 2.
Okay.
Fail was a 14.
Okay, well, 2 successes is what you need for a ranged attack. So you were able to fire your phaser into this thing. You see mechanical parts kind of blow up all around it. It sort of drops wires and pieces of metal and everything. So that's a successful attack. You'll now roll your challenge dice, which are your damage dice. Your attack should have a number of CD next to it.
Yeah, it has 6.
Okay, so roll 6 d6s.
6 d6s.
Yep, and then I will tell you how you add up the damage from that.
Just happen to have 6 d6s. All right, here we go. Let's see. 11, 14, and 5 more, 19.
So okay, so I know that's how you want to add them up. This works differently.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, 6, 5, 3, 2, 2, 1.
Okay, the 6 and the 5 are both worth 1, plus those activate your effects. You said a 6, a 5, and a what?
2 2s and a 1.
Okay, the 3 is nothing. The 2 2s are 2s, so that's 4 plus your 6 and a 5. So that's 6 points of damage, and the 1 is also 1. So you did 7 points. Basically, a 1 is a 1, a 2 is a 2. A 5 and a 6 are 1, and they activate an effect. So I think you did a total of 6 stress, plus you activate an effect. Does your phaser attack have an effect? It'd be like one of the last. It'd be like knockdown or vicious or something like that.
Yeah, knockdown where it struck and all that was hip and leg servos and all that, and it loses its balance and crashes to the floor.
Okay, cool. So you have done some tremendous damage to it, but it crashes down. But you can still see that it's twitching and still activated, even though there's sort of arcs of electricity sort of stretching across its torso.
At this time, do I notice the other one? I mean, I know this is a out of character question, but I heard there were 2, and
yeah, absolutely. You can see the other one now too.
I mean, basically, is that one now charging also?
Yes, it is. It's actually, you see it out of the corner of your eye. It's sort of raising one of its extremities, and it's changing from sort of like fingers to some sort of energy weapon.
Oh,
and leveling it at you.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Now, I'm glad I got so focus. Rolling and tumbling looks like it's going to come into effect.
Here's a decision you can make. So ordinarily, the next android would get to act now. You can spend 2 points of momentum to keep the initiative and send it to another member of your crew. Or you can spend a point of determination to give yourself another action. initiative can just pass to you.
I will start it out. You said what 4?
You've got 3 points of momentum right now.
Left, yeah. Yes, this is very important that we get through this. Since they were up there next to the door with Jiral first, I will tell Antoniou and Nosil, pointing to the other one, fire, and then I'm also waving behind me to Lieutenant Barad to come up the steps to help Jiral.
Okay. And so, did you want to pass momentum by spending 2 of your, or pass initiative by using 2 of your momentum?
Yeah, I'm passing it through momentum to Nosil and Antoniou, but then I'm just.
Okay. So one of your crew may now act.
Oh,
Jiral.
All right. As I'm fumbling with my phaser, I find it hard to grip to, so I grab a more familiar device that I can do more damage with. I grab my tricorder, and I'd like to scan these guys for a power source or some type of weakness in their casing, so I can direct the next person to shoot for that area, because Lord knows I'm not going to be able to hit from this range.
Yeah. So I'm going to call that an aim action.
All right.
So go ahead and make a tricorder scan. We'll call that, because this is sort of a tense combat situation. I'm going to say it's your daring attribute plus your science discipline.
Okay. Daring plus science is 13. I do have a focus in power systems or analysis.
Yep. Go ahead and use that.
Cool. So it'll crit on a 1 through 4. So daring and science. Here we go. 2 to 10. Those are 2 successes, a 10 and an 11.
Okay, I think that'll work. We'll create a new trait whenever you guys are in combat with these androids. Now that you've sort of had a chance to scan them, you deduce a couple of things. One, they do have sort of a power source that you can target and destroy, and that'll give you a trait that you can use to do extra damage. And then you also notice that these guys have definitely been, they're being controlled by the same positronic network that you have detected previously. They're also infected with the virus.
All right, yeah. Just to keep the flow going, I relay all that information.
Okay.
So what do we want to call this trait? Like android physiology technology knowledge or something like that?
Sure.
How about, Android?
Around. I'm sure someone come up with something that sounds easier. You know, I'm not good with catchphrases, so.
Yeah, Android physiology is fine. That's what we'll call it.
Android physiology. Okay.
Okay, but that is your action.
Yes.
So now the initiative passes to the android, who's now going to open fire on the commander who just shot his buddy.
Oh, what about?
I guess
I think I wanted us to go.
we would need another 2 momentum to pass up to continue passing the initiative.
And you can only retain initiative.
I could only pass the one, not the both.
Right.
Right.
Correct.
Oh, I got you. Cool. All right. Very good.
So that is a control plus security. 16 needs 2 successes. So he only gets 1 success. So this android raises his arm, which has been turned into some sort of energy weapon, and fires a blast of bright green energy that sort of just barely grazes the side of your face, Commander. And you actually feel that kind of the burning energy as it passes by you, but you're safe.
Yeah.
So now any of the Starfleet crew who has not yet acted, you guys can act now in whatever order you wish.
Yeah, like Barad and all that. Yeah. He's been kind of static down at the bottom of the steps, but I'm sure when he saw, hopefully, you got.
Who's acted?
I haven't yet.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Can I take a quick scan of this room and see if there's like a some sort of like alarm pulse or anything that looks like it might be controlling the androids through like a network of.
So you're going to kind of look inside the room of the door that you just opened.
Right. See if there's like some way to shut off if there's some sort of like silent alarm.
Yeah, you think you don't see anything like that, no.
Okay. In that case, I will start running down the stairs and try to get out in the open where I can shoot.
Sure. Yep. That's just a minor action to move. So you can you can attack either a ranged attack or an unarmed melee attack if you want to move in within reach of one of these guys.
I'll stay out of reach and I'll shoot with the phaser.
Which one are you going to shoot? There's one who is lying prone that got knocked down by a phaser blast, and the other one who is undamaged and approaching.
I'm gonna go after the one that's attacking the commander.
Okay. So with the phaser, that's control plus security, and it's a difficulty 2.
Okay. Control security. Those two would be 14. One of the dice I rolled was 14.
That's a success. A tie is
Okay, and then the other one's a fail.
Okay, so with just one success, your phaser blast misses.
All right.
Have you guys all acted in this round?
No, well, yeah. What is Parad doing? Yeah.
So Jake hasn't been on the call. There's only 4 of you.
Oh. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought Jake was on for a little while. Was it?
So Jake sent me a note at the beginning saying he was going to be on in a minute, and he never joined. There was like another person named Cecil that joined up, but never. I didn't know who he was. He didn't say anything. So I don't know, but he's gone too. So there's just 4 of you at the moment, and so I think all of you back in this round.
All right.
So we go to another round, and you guys will, the initiative basically always goes to the good guys first, unless I come up with a specific reason for it not to.
And,
so you guys, basically, one of you can act first at the beginning of the second round.
Right. All right, then I'm firing at this one that's firing at us. And
Get him in the sweet spot.
I got a 7 and a natural 1.
Okay, so that is 3 successes. So you generate a point of momentum, which you can either use right now I'll let you basically blow up the android if you like, or you can bank it for later.
No, this one's firing at us. I'll use it, blow up the android.
Okay, so describe how your phaser blast destroys this guy.
Well, I'm guessing that since they're androids without heads and all that, so the primary point of their positronic brain, if you want to call it, I'm just as a wild guess, surmising that it could probably be like where our heart would be, relative, to the humanoid heart, and fire there, and it just causes it to completely short circuit until it basically rattles itself into pieces, arms coming off, legs coming disjointed, and the torso just going clunk in the middle of it all.
Awesome. Yeah, so now there's basically nothing but a pile of cybernetic components where that android once stood.
Okay.
The other android, which was prone.
The other one is still twitching?
Yep. And he is going to act now. He is going to use his minor action to stand up, and he's going to make another physical attack against the security officer that's right in front of him. So, security officer, I need you to make a daring plus security test with 2 d20s.
Okay, so 13 or less.
The android got 1 success. If you get 1 success or 2, then it's an unsuccessful attack.
I got 1 success and 1 fail.
Okay, so the android stands up and it tries to slam into you again, but you're ready for it, and you're able to sort of minimize the attack, and he doesn't do any damage. That creates an opportunity for you to act if you like.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I will use my melee attack. since he's close to me,
Mhm.
and start swinging at him.
Okay, so that will be another opposed daring plus security test. So basically do exactly what you just did.
Okay. I got 2 nat ones.
Awesome. So that's 4 total successes. That succeeds. And so this android had already been hit by a phaser blast, so he wasn't doing so well either. So describe to me how you, with basically your bare hands, are able to dismantle this android.
I will grab his arms, rip it off, and then grab his torso and split it down in the middle.
Awesome. And so you get sort of a face full of sparks and smoke as this thing gets torn apart.
Yep.
So you guys are now out of the combat situation. You've got a couple of basically dismantled androids in front of you and an open door behind you. What would you like? You've got 1 momentum left.
I want to go. I want to take one of the dismembered pieces with me because it is a piece. Maybe I explain this to Lieutenant Antoniou that this is there's virus inside this piece of android. We can use it in the future for any other security things.
I still have my communicator infected, I imagine.
Yep, absolutely.
So, but I would like to see if there's any unfamiliar type of machinery.
Yeah,
Or is it all
absolutely.
just basic metal?
So the science officer and the chief engineer start going through these pieces of cybernetic technology, and you realize something kind of strange. For one thing, these components don't seem like they were designed to fit together, but you get the sense that they were probably almost like cybernetic enhancements, that these were intended to go to sort of modify organic humanoid creatures and sort of make them smarter, make them faster, make them stronger. But somehow this virus that you guys have detected was introduced to this Horizon engineering complex, and all of a sudden these things started going crazy. These cybernetic enhancements somehow became intelligent themselves and started fashioning sort of an android army.
I look at Lieutenant Antoniou. I say, this isn't the first time the Federation has seen technology try to enhance biological creatures. And I'm too afraid to say the word.
Does anybody know the word he might be afraid to say?
I sit there going, no, it can't be. No, it can't be. It mustn't be. And then I throw up. I say, Borg.
Borg, right. Okay, while this is happening, first, after I see Jiral one android in half, I go up to him, pat him on the back, and say, I want to see that kind of ferocity out there on the field next time we play that American football game that you all like so much out there out on the holodeck. And then, we'll proceed. And noticing also that this is Borg and all that, and noting the history of the Borg, we've definitely gone to from a base level situation to a critical level situation, obviously.
Can I just I know that was I say Commander, that was speculation. Let me double check to see if my speculation is correct.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do like a tricorder scan. It'll be
like maybe I can perhaps I've read reports on Borg technology in the past or something I can compare. So tricorder scan.
It'd be like reason plus con. Difficulty 0.
Okay. That's 1 success.
Okay, so that generates a point of momentum for you. You now have 2. And you're able to confirm fairly easily that even though these were intended to be cybernetic enhancements for biological beings, this isn't Borg technology.
All right.
You get the sense that this complex, this Horizon Engineering, was some sort of powerful corporation that produced this sort of equipment, but somehow this computer virus got introduced to it and things went wrong.
I relay that Borg technology often has self-healing properties with nanoprobes, and a simple virus like this was able to take down this technology. So I don't think there's a link. They're just coincidence.
Okay. Continue your scans. See if we can't cure the system of this virus, and we can stop this this production and this perversion. Also, looking to Nosil, the chief engineer, asking him to find a way to disengage whatever system is running that keeps us flying basically to the Sojourner, and just using any kind of if we brought any kind of just like field battle medical supplies and all that to
I was about to say.
help her all heal a little bit. At least a stress point anyway.
Yeah, so our medical officer is the one that didn't show, right? Basically,
Yeah.
so I mean, this is like start. So we'll say that that's the end of a scene, and so at the end of a scene, you're able to basically you can refresh your stress.
Okay, very good.
Cool.
Okay.
So
Alright.
what is your next course of action, away team?
Well, the power source for what's keeping us communicating with the Sojourn is in that tower, I think.
We're in
Well,
the tower.
I know.
Yeah.
So we got to find an access console, or see if we can put in an override command to shut down the dome, or we find the power supply and shut it down the old-fashioned way.
Well, then I say Lord, if anybody can do it, you can do it. So get on it.
So you guys, from your tricorder scans, are able to sort of surmise as you enter the tower, you're no longer suffering from the effects of your scans bouncing off the outside of it. Once you're inside it, you can scan it, and you realize that the power source seems to be above you, like on the top floor of the tower. You're inside this sort of what looks like a lobby. There's like old desks, but everything's pretty dark and quiet. There's some turbo lifts leading up, but none of it seems to be powered up. You'll have to find a way to power it. Everything's covered in a fine layer of dust. There's debris kind of scattered along the floor. It's not a very inviting scene. Detect anything immediately hostile.
So receiving this information, then I would just tell, command, I guess, but in the casual way that I prefer to do it, and just say, Marcel, go ahead and go up there and see what you can do. Jiral, go up with him for, security, and then I'll stay down here with Antoniou, and we'll work more on what's going on with this positronic stuff and all that, and gather as much information as we can down here.
Yeah, now that you mentioned the positronic signature that you guys detected previously, the androids outside both sort of contain the same sort of positronic awareness, and the source of that positronic matrix is upstairs with that power source. So you guys will basically need to find a way to power up the turbo lifts to get up to the top floor of this tower to find out what's up there.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I'll be gone.
Then I want to look for a console, some type of interface. Looking around the room.
Okay.
Perception.
Let's take a quick break, maybe like 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and you guys can figure out how to get up to the top floor of the tower and see what awaits you there.
Cool.
Okay. All right. I'll be back in 5.
Good.
Oh, I'll be right back. I'm going to grab myself something to drink.
Cool.
Hello?
Still waiting on Fred to come back.
Okay. Sorry it took me a little bit longer. I had to take one of my dogs out. This is actually getting me into Star Trek even more. I've seen a little bit of it, just not a lot.
Whoa. Yeah, man, it's great. I think I did a full rewatch. I started a couple years ago. I finished watching everything. like a couple months ago. This past January, I finished all of it. I went from the original series all the way up to Enterprise. Did all the movies in between.
Nice. Yeah, I told Fred that I'm a Star Wars fan. I just barely watch any Star Trek.
As much as people like to, I think it's fun to compare them and rip fans, but ultimately they're very different. So it's hard to compare them, you know. Yeah. Objectively, at least, you know. I think I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I don't feel that because I love Star Wars, I can't love Star Trek as well, and vice versa.
Right. I'm the same way.
Being the same thing at all.
They give you two different things, you know.
They both happen to be in space.
Yeah, and they both have star in the title. That's it.
Literally.
Yeah, but see, Star Wars is the classic adventure quest, you know? I mean...
Yeah, it's like a fantasy book. It's got more in common with Lord of the Rings than Star Trek.
And Greek fantasy. Right, yeah. It's like Jason and the Argonauts, you know, all the time, you know?
The hero's journey. Yep.
Right, the hero's journey. A la Joseph Campbell, right? But
yep.
Yeah, Star Trek is just. I look at Star Trek as the attempt at the socialist treaties, you know, but mixed with of democratic republicanism a la America, and and maybe even just a little bit of the military ethos, you know, of our armed forces, and that kind of stuff, all combined, and that's why it works. You know, it's the only socialist program that would work, I guess, if it's mixed that particular way.
Yeah,
equally, you know, equally. But you know, when I mentioned the you know, playing the ancient American sport of American football and all that, I was just sitting there thinking that was just something that, you know, we were just through our studies we just discovered and all that, and we as friends and all that decided to find other interested parties and make our own teams and our own game of it on the holodeck, you know.
They do that in Deep Space Nine with baseball, so yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
that's one of the great tropes of Star Trek is the characters someone is always sort of a specialist in 20th century American culture.
Yeah, something, whether it's sports culture, military culture, you know.
Trucks like Tom Paris, right? All that.
Paris is rebuilding muscle cars in the holodeck.
Right on. Yeah.
All right, guys, let's sort of set the scene here. You guys are you found your way into the lobby of this tower that used to belong to this mega corporation called Horizon Engineering on this distant world. You know that the energy source, the energy shield that's keeping you from contacting your ship and from beaming back, is run by some sort of positronic artificial intelligence, which is located on the very top floor of this tower. The only problem is there are turbo lifts here, but they have no power to them. So you'll have to find a way to get up there. We've got a couple of traits in play. One is you're being watched. There's surveillance equipment all over this complex. The other is cut off from the ship, energy shield surrounding the complex. You also have a third trait that you created in that last fight called android physiology, which will grant you extra damage when you fight, should you fight more of those android Frankensteins later on down the line. So you're in this dark lobby. There is debris and dust scattered all over the place. There are, however, a couple of desks and computer consoles stationed directly in front of these turbo lifts that lead upward.
There are no ladders.
None that you can see. The doors to the turbo lift, to the turbo shafts, are closed.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because there's, and for just such a reason, a lot of times there's ladders like there are aboard the ship. I'm going to actually look around for all other means of getting up to the next levels, the upper levels, while all the rest, maybe Jiral can just keep watch, in case anything comes up behind us. And Antonio and Nosil check the turbulence and see if they can get them to activate.
Yeah, so first of all, Cmdr Thonir, as you sort of walk around and use your Andorian antenna to sort of scan every nook and cranny of this dark and dusty room, you see that there aren't any staircases. In fact, you think that the only way up would probably be these turbo shafts.
Okay, all right. Very good then. So then how do Nosil and Antonio fare on figuring out a way to get these things activated?
There must be some type of circuitry or wiring, maybe behind the walls or an access panel.
Yeah, absolutely. What you can narrate, whatever you think you find, it's going to be a reason plus engineering task to get it powered back up. And the science officer, Lieutenant Antonio, you may assist in the engineering.
If this is like a lobby, you're the entrance of a corporation, is there like a receptionist desk with some interface that, like, oh, you're going on this turbo lift, let me activate it for you. Welcome to. Okay, I go to that desk. I dust off the screen, and the first thing I do is I tap it. But no, I'll scan it after that.
Yeah, so when you examine this interface, and it is like a monitor, but you see that there doesn't appear to be any sort of keyboard or any sort of inputs. So, but what it does do is it responds to those infected cybernetic components that you're carrying with you after you defeated those androids out in the courtyard.
Antonio, show me that arm.
The arm?
Yeah. And a leg and a wing and a side of fries. Sorry, I don't make jokes. I'm sorry. I don't know how to make jokes.
That's a good attempt.
What do I roll now?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to. We hold up the arm to the console. Do we observe anything change, or should I deduce that we need to connect them somehow wirelessly?
The viral code that's sort of overriding both of these components automatically connects, and the screen lights up. And you think you could probably give commands to the turbo lifts through the cybernetic device. But doing so, because this is alien technology, it's been infected with a virus, it's going to be kind of a difficult task.
Yeah. Can we?
No, never mind. I was thinking about using the infected communicator, but I don't think that would work.
Lieutenant Jiral, your suggestion would make sense. You could probably use your communicator too, because it's been infected, but it would probably do the same thing that this Android component would too.
I look at Antonio. I say, let's perform some further analysis between this console and the arm and the turbo lift to make this task easier before we attempt it. Let's do some research or something.
Yeah. So if you like, you can perform a task to create an advantage. You can also spend, you got 2 momentum. You can spend 2 momentum to create an advantage as well.
I'd like to bank. I'm gonna keep those. I'm gonna let the commander decide when we use momentum. But yeah, I'd like to perform an analysis scan with the tricorder, do some research.
Yep. Give me a reason plus con task then.
All right. 2d20s coming up.
That's the one that I'm assisting with.
Yeah, you can assist if you like. So you roll 1 d20, Stephen.
And then reason plus con.
Ooh. I got a 3 and a 7. Am I allowed to use my analysis focus?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then the 3 is a crit. So,
okay, so that's 3 successes.
Yep.
I got 1 success.
Okay, 4 successes. So that will allow you to create an advantage, and it'll create a point of momentum. So you guys now have 3 momentum, and your advantage, we'll say, is Kita technology, Kita tech. And that means that you guys now have a pretty good understanding of how these cybernetic enhancements work and how the virus works and how the virus basically overrode. These components were created to enhance organic life. It can make you stronger, it can make you smarter. But the virus basically caused all of that programming to be overridden by one single directive, and that was destroy organic intelligence. So what were once these devices intended to enhance the humanoid race that used to live on this planet, it basically killed them all. But so you guys now have a pretty good understanding of how this works, and you're able to, it'll be probably a difficulty 2 task to call down the turbo lifts.
All right. With that information, Lieutenant Antoniou, let's see if we can get these turbo lifts going.
All right.
So this would be a reason plus engineering task, difficulty 2. It would have been a difficulty 3, but you guys created an advantage, so I'm gonna call it
Sweet. May you assist me, Lieutenant Antoniou? And that's 2 successes from me.
Okay.
On this on this assist, can I use my testing a theory for the additional D20?
I think when you assist, you only get 1 D20.
Okay.
I think that's the rule. I could be wrong about that, but I'm not going to look it up right now.
That's a success.
Okay. Okay, so you got 3 successes. That'll generate a point of momentum, and you're able to successfully, the turbo shafts kind of light up, and you hear the sound of a platform being lowered to the ground, and then you hear this hiss when it hits the ground. The turbo lift doors open up, and you see that the turbo lift, the shaft is basically bare, and it's just this sort of glowing silver disc at the bottom that you stand on top of.
There's your turbo lift, Commander.
Done. All right. Let's get on this. And we enter the lift.
Cool. So the away team enters the lift, and it starts to, you don't even feel any sort of change in momentum or change in speed. It just sort of, it shoots up quickly, but somehow you don't feel it. This is a very well-designed turbo lift. It indicates that the technology on this planet used to be very advanced.
They must have advanced inertial dampeners.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's exactly what's going on here.
Oh.
And so you guys, you see that you're almost near but then something happens. I'm going to spend 2 points of threat. I have not made a single threat spend yet in this game. I'm going to spend 2 points of threat to create a complication. Because you guys are being watched by surveillance technology this whole time, the turbo lift suddenly rocks violently. It was going so smoothly at first, and then it rocks violently. And all of a sudden, there's some sort of a plasma conduit, and the shaft explodes. And so I'm going to ask all of you to make a daring plus security test for me, please.
Okay. Does my athletics focus factor into this at all?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, there's all of a sudden there's a plasma explosion in the turbo shaft, and you guys are going to have to try to get out of the way.
I got a crit. I rolled a 1.
What about,
Nice.
So I got 3 successes total.
Okay.
what about martial arts? Would that come in? You know, learning how to evade.
This will help you here.
Roundhouse kick the plasma.
Okay, I've got.
What are the rules for the crit on that?
A crit is worth 2 successes.
So if my security is 3 and I rolled 3 or below, that's a crit?
Yes.
Okay, I got 3 and 2.
Okay.
So double crit.
Yeah, so that's 4 successes. That'll actually generate a point of momentum.
Nice.
What about the commander and the security officer?
My martial arts gives me 1 extra roll, but what do I roll?
I don't think your martial arts is going to apply in this situation because it's not like combat. You're just trying to get out of the way of this explosion.
Okay, all right. So I get 2. Yep. All right, well.
If you want to spend a point of momentum, you can get an extra D20.
No. We only have 1 left. I'll save it for. At this point,
you've generated enough. You've got 5 now.
Oh, we have 5 now. Oh, I lost track of the count.
You at the start when you guys started the last scene, you had one, but you guys were the science and engineering officer able to reactivate the lifts to generate a bunch of momentum, and you just generated one more.
Oh, excellent. Okay. I rolled a 3 and a natural 1.
Okay, so you
like
say
on both.
okay, and Dillon, what did Jiral do?
Wait, whose turn is it?
So you're rolling control, or I'm sorry, daring plus security.
For me?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, my sister got back. I forgot she had finals today.
Oh, that's fine.
That's why my dogs went crazy. Daring security.
Daring plus security is this plasma conduit kind of explodes in your face, and you're trying to quickly back away from it to minimize the damage. So you'd add your daring plus your security and roll 2d20s and hope you get below that target.
I got 2 fails. That'll be delicious in my face.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, you're the one standing closest to the loads, and you're going to take 2 points of stress.
2 points of stress.
Yep.
Okie dokie.
And suddenly, the disc that you've been riding on the turbo shaft has stopped. You're pretty close to the top. You can see the door to the top floor, but you're going to have to climb. And there's actually a ladder that you could climb if you want.
Here's your ladder.
Right. It's is there any kind of panel exposed and all that? Any kind of
Sure. Yeah. What would you like to do?
Open? Huh?
Yeah, there is. What would you like to do with it?
That I guess send Russell up there and see what he can do to get the door open, and then we'll just all climb the ladder and get out on the next floor.
Okay.
All right.
So climbing the ladder is going to be a difficulty 1 control plus security check task.
Control plus security. All right. So I got to be in an 11. I matched 1 success. Another one's a fail.
Okay, so you're able to slowly climb up the ladder. Not sure if at any point there might be another plasma explosion, but there is not, and you're able to get up to that closed door on the top floor.
Is it like an elevator, sliding door, mechanical?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I do the old-fashioned try to pry it open first.
Okay, that will be another control and security task.
Okay. Am I allowed to know the difficulty in case I need to use?
It's a fitness plus security because this is like physical strength trying to pull.
All right. Cool. Number doesn't change. That's a 2 and an 11, so 2 successes.
2 successes is not going to be enough to pull this open with your bare hand. You're probably going to have to sort of hotwire it.
Okay. Do I see an electrical pan or some type of panel I can remove and see the insides of?
Yep.
It doesn't affect my balance.
Actually, yeah, it probably does because you're going to have to do it with one hand. So we'll make this a difficulty 3 rather than a 2. So it'll be reason plus engineering.
Okay.
So okay, go ahead.
I have an engineering talent called jury rig. Whenever you attempt an engineering task to perform repairs, you may reduce the difficulty by 2. If you do this, however, then the repairs are only temporary and will only last a single scene. I'm fine with that.
Okay, yeah, sure. You're basically this turbo lift had been shut down for a long time, and you're trying to repower it back up and get these doors open. So yeah,
little quick jury rig on there.
Yeah.
To reduce difficulty by 2, reason plus engineering got to be to 14. I got a 2 and a 3.
Okay, so that will generate some more momentum. You guys are now at your full momentum pool at 6, and you're able to basically get this door to slowly slide open. and you peer in, and it's dark. You can see that there's some sort of figure, like the lobby below. There's dust and debris scattered all over the place. But it looks like this is sort of an office, but a very large one. And you can see sitting in the center of this room, there's what looks to be a humanoid figure sitting completely stationary, almost like reclining in a chair. Cables and cybernetic devices protruding from this figure and stretching out to different computer consoles in the room. You also notice that on each side of the room, there are two sets of mechanical arms that look like they almost like robots in a factory, that they're there to fabricate equipment. Other than that, it's completely silent.
Getting like an nth degree vibe.
Can I scan the room for like biological life to see if he's
absolutely
a living person?
Yep. So you're still standing down in the turbo lift, but from this distance, you can definitely make a tricorder scan.
Okay. Made a roll for that?
It'll be a difficulty 1, reason plus con.
Right. 2 successes. Actually, okay. 3, I guess, because if a 1 is a crit.
So at this point, you've got all of your momentum banked. If you like, you can spend that momentum on an immediate spend to improve the quality of your success as you scan up top.
To spend one of them?
Well, yeah, I mean, you pretty much spend them all. If you don't spend them now, then they disappear because your group pool is full with 6.
Right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and spend it then.
Okay, cool. So you conduct a pretty detailed tricorder scan of the top floor, and you can see that the positronic signature that you guys detected from orbit is definitely coming from this office. In fact, you see that there is some sort of biological life form up there, humanoid life form, but the life signs are very dim. Like this thing is just basically being kept alive by this technology, by this positronic artificial intelligence. They've somehow melded into some sort of strange hybrid, and it's basically waiting for you up there.
That's what I figured. Well, we know they don't want us up here because they blew up the elevator. So, should approach with caution, I guess, in case the rest of this building explodes.
Since Jiral is injured again, I'll tell him to come up last and all that, but I'll go up behind Nosil and have Antoniou follow me.
Okay.
And have my phaser ready as soon as I get up there.
And now that you've seen your engineering officer make that climb already, now that you've seen Lieutenant Nosil get up there, I won't require a test. You guys can see the ladder well. So you guys are able to sort of clamber up this ladder, and you get into this room. And it's dark, but all of a sudden there's sort of a flash of light. And you see that an energy shield, much like the dome that covers the entire complex, is now surrounded this humanoid figure that's reclining in this chair, connected to all this technology. And it says, I am New Horizon. Directive 1 reactivated. Destroy biological intelligence. What do you do?
I will keep my eyes out for that power source. If I gotta make a scan, then yeah.
You don't even need to scan. As you look around, you see that there's a large bank of computer terminals that are lit up and seem to be running calculations all the time.
All right.
Okay.
May I run a scan as to the material they made out of? Will it be easy to destroy with phasers, or do I need to open up something? Can we just...
So you would surmise that destroying the computer terminals probably wouldn't have that big of an effect because this positronic network, which is basically inside the brain of this humanoid figure, would still be intact.
Mm-hmm. Well, then I say I'm going to go see what I can do from the computer terminal, Commander. Keep him off my back.
All right. And then is Antoniou up the ladder now?
Yeah, you're all, the entire way team's up.
The entire way team's up. I come up to Antoniou and say, see if you cannot figure out a way to scramble this force field. While Nosil is checking the banks, probably trying to do the same thing, I'm sure. but see if you can't do it from your positronics knowledge standpoint versus an engineering standpoint.
Looking at the wires and tubes coming out of this guy, do they look like if I shot it with a phaser, it would sever the connection?
It does, but it looks like most of the sensitive equipment is protected by this force field.
Okay, that's what I was worried about. Yeah, I'll try to figure out something with the positronics, I guess.
Okay, go ahead and give me a reason plus science test.
So 1-1 and the other one's fail.
Okay, so 2 successes. That's enough for you to sort of realize that this technology was originally intended to enhance organic life, but it's this virus that has perverted it and caused it to implement this directive of destroying organic life. You get the sense that if you could somehow create an antivirus or a worm to disable that viral programming, you would probably be in a much better situation.
Some sort of antivirus.
Okay. Well, and I'm sure.
Can I try to work on that with a focus and experimental equipment?
Right. This will require you to join your engineer over by that computer console.
Right.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Work with Nosil on this. Yeah. Okay. They're making it happen. It's good stuff.
So, and as both of you guys approach that computer terminal, you see that those the 2 sets of robotic arms on each side of the room start to whir to life, and they start picking up components and start assembling them into these sort of Frankenstein monster androids.
Holy moly!
All right, and then with that, seeing that, I'll motion to Jiral, and we'll have phasers ready. In case, are these arms behind, within the force field, or they're outside of it?
They're outside of it.
Right. So as soon as they get to a point where they're about to complete one of these things, Jiral and I will be ready to destroy it.
Yep. And so that robotic voice that sort of emanates throughout the room, it sounds again, and it says, your biological infestation will only result in more deaths.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How are Antoniou and Nosil doing?
Why don't you guys... Okay, so here's how this works. This is going to be an extended task if you're going to try to hack this virus. And so the way that works is basically you guys will make, one of you will make the task and one of you can assist if you like. And you'll have to get, it's a difficulty 3 for each task, and you'll have to get 4 breakthroughs. I'll explain that as it goes. But basically this is a complicated situation and it's going to require some time and effort, and so it'll take more than 1 task to complete.
Okay. I have, one of my talents says that if I attempt an engineering or science task as part of an extended task, I get a +1 progress for each effect rolled.
Yep, we'll keep track of that. That absolutely applies in this situation.
Okay. In the nick of time.
Awesome. Yeah, so basically what's going to happen is you guys are going to work on overriding the virus that's infected all this technology. There are 2 androids that have basically been assembled and are ready to attack. I'm going to leave it up to the commander. Is there anything you'd like to say or do? Otherwise, it looks like this could turn into a combat situation pretty quickly.
Yeah. The two are built, which shouldn't allowed to have let them finish. But I told Jiral to start shooting at the mechanical arms, at least to slow down production, if nothing else, and then get ready for their charge.
Okay. So basically that's a combat situation will take place now. So you guys get the first initiative. One of you may act, and you guys may choose which one.
Okay, so to attack, I get, what is it, security plus control, is it?
Are you? Is it going to be a melee attack or a phaser attack? Yep, that would be control plus security. Correct. And it's a difficulty of 2. You guys have.
I have focus. I have focus phasers.
Okay. So you would crit on whatever on your security number or below. You guys have 6. You guys have all of your momentum. 6 momentum. I have 2 sets.
Okay. I have. I have and a fail.
Okay. What were you shooting at, by the way?
One of the arms. The stop. You said there were 4 of them.
Yep. There's 2 sets of arms on either side of the room, and so
yeah, one of the arms, so that they can't continue to create more of these things while engineering officer and science officer are trying to infect the already infected.
Yep. So you fire one of those arms, and it moves with almost superhuman speed to get out of the way, and your phaser sort of blows up against the wall harmlessly.
Dang.
And so the next to act will be one of those androids that's just been assembled. It's going to charge across the room, and it's going to make a melee attack against the commander that just opened fire on its means of production. So, Commander, I need you to make a daring plus security roll.
Daring.
And tell me how many successes you get.
2.
Okay, so you are able to successfully dodge out of the way as this android that's been basically fashioned out of scrap parts sort of makes its way across the room and tries to get after you, but you're able to move out of the way. Okay, one of you guys may now act.
Okay, Jiral, you want to attack or?
Yep, I will charge out my laser and aim at that one arm that was attacking the commander.
Okay. So that will be a control versus security task, and you need 2 successes.
Okay, also, I have follow my lead, which once proceeding... Oh, no, forget it. Can't do it right now. No,
Okay.
Sorry. I saw that. I saw what the prerequisite was. Whoops.
Right, go ahead and make your phaser attack.
Okay. So 14. I got 2 successes.
Okay, so that you are able to shoot that android with your phaser. So roll your challenge dice. However many challenge CD it says, you roll those D6s and tell me what you get on those D6s.
Okay. Hold on real quick.
Sure.
Okay. I got 5, 2, 6, 1, 2, 5, 1.
5, 2, 6, 2, 1, 5, 1.
52, 61, 25, 1.
61, 25. Okay, so that is 1, 2. Okay, so that does 7 stress, and it activates your knockdown effect. So you're able to basically. Oh, and you guys have the Android physiology advantage. So I'll add another couple damage to that. So that basically destroys it. You're able to one-shot that Android.
Oh, wow.
Good job.
Now, you guys can spend 2 points of momentum to pass the initiative to another one of your away team, or it will be the other android's turn to act.
Yeah, Trill, you want to pass it to me so I can spin around and shoot it in the back before it turns around on me?
So you've already acted this round, so he would have to pass it to someone who hasn't acted.
Okay.
I will pass it on to one of the engineers to see if they found something different in the in the terminal.
Okay.
Good job.
So we're engaged. Are we engaged in this extended task, or do we have to take care of combat first? Or
No, you're going to be. You can do this during combat if you
all
want.
right. I look at Antonio. I say, I will assist you as you have specializations in polytropic activity. Let me know what you need.
All right. I'll get to work with that then.
Okay, so this extended task, basically you guys will be both acting together. One of you acts, the other one assists. The basic task is reason plus, I'll let you pick between engineering or science, whichever you prefer.
Same thing. I'll go with engineering.
Okay.
A quick question before we continue about how determination is used in this game in terms of completing tasks.
Yes, determination, you each have 1 point of it right now.
Mhm.
Determination, basically you spend it and you get, one of your dice is an automatic crit.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So this is a difficulty 4 task. You have 4 points of momentum at your disposal. You also have your determination. You'll need to complete this. You'll basically need to achieve 3 breakthroughs to successfully eradicate the virus. And we'll explain breakthroughs after you roll.
I got 2 successes.
Okay, 2 successes.
I'm assisting on him?
Yep.
Okay. And you said reason and science, or can I use engineering?
You can
Actually,
use
it's the same
engineering.
for me. Yeah. 1 success.
Okay, so that's 3 successes. That's not enough for a success on this task. If you'd like to spend your determination, that would bump you up to what you need to do. Technically, you're supposed to declare it first, but I'll let you decide.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and spend mine and make one of those a crit.
I lost sound on you, Fred.
Yep. I think you muted.
Headphone mute. No go. Negative.
Okay, now?
Yeah, there it is.
Positive. Affirmative.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Okay, so you will now roll challenge dice now that you've completed the successful task. The challenge dice, it's 2d6s plus the number of whatever discipline you just used.
So 2d6 plus 1, pretty much. Right.
What was the discipline you just used?
Oh, wait.
Science. You just
That was
used.
science. That was engineering, but
Yeah.
either way.
So 6.
So I got a 3, a 3, and the engineering is a 4.
No, it's you roll that number of d6s. So you roll 2d6
6.
plus 4 for your science skill. So 6
Got it.
d6s. Yep.
All right. So I got 2 3s, a 4, a 5, and 2 6s.
Okay, the 5 and the 6s both score 1 success each. So that will mark 3 points off of your work track, which is 12.
Okay.
So that does not score breakthrough, but it doesn't. You're getting closer to getting breakthroughs.
Yeah.
If you get 5 or more off your work track on a single task, that's a breakthrough. And then any tasks that you successfully complete after the work track is depleted are also breakthroughs. I know that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Well, we're progressing. We have 4 tasks, 4 chances to get to that 12. What did Antonio learn from this first task?
You learned that you've got a couple of options at your disposal. You can deploy an antivirus that destroys all this technology, or you can eradicate the viral code that currently exists.
Star Trek.
At this point, that second android is going to attack, and he's going to charge across the room to the security officer that just eradicated his buddy, and he's going to actually open fire with his energy weapon as well. And this would be and successful.
Hey, Jiral, are you starting to feel like the red shirt?
Maybe.
So that does 7 points of stress and knocks you down, Jiral.
7 points?
Yes, sir. He hit you with an energy weapon.
I can't even dodge that or nothing?
Nope, not. You can dodge melee attacks, but not ranged attacks.
Oh, God.
However,
Someone just killed me now.
since
No,
you mentioned,
no.
there are pieces
You
of
only had
equipment.
2 plus 7 more. That's only 9, and you have 12 total, Jiral.
Yeah, it shouldn't kill you.
No, I had 13 altogether.
Yeah, so you're still up. You're not injured, but you did take a laser blast.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
1, 2.
So now,
three.
one of you may act.
Well,
I guess I'm the only one who's remaining who hasn't gone in our group, right?
Yep.
So we know that Lieutenant Antonio did the first task. May I begin the second task? And he
Yes, you
assists
may.
me?
Yeah, absolutely. That'll work.
Okay. Lieutenant Antonio, do you have a recommendation on the choice do we purge the system of the virus, or do we just, what was the other option? Destroy everything, essentially?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I recommend we just come up with the antivirus to purge all these systems. Whatever this planet was would be in the best interests of the Federation. So we want to try and preserve it. Okay. So I would like to begin the second task.
Okay.
To create an antivirus just to get rid of what's plaguing these systems.
So this is reason plus either engineering or science, your choice. It's a difficulty 4, and your science officer may assist you by rolling a single d20. You have 4 points of momentum, or you can spend your determination.
Okay. May I have a talent called Improvised Solutions. Says whenever you attempt a task involving an untested, purely theoretical engineering and scientific solution like this one, we don't know if it's going to work. And I have to buy d20s from you by giving you threat. Is that possible? Okay.
Yes.
Can I buy? I'm going to give you 1 threat to add another d20 to my rolls.
Okay.
And I'd like to activate that talent because when I do buy a bonus d20, I can re-roll that d20 if it fails. So I have 3 d20 in my hand. I have an assistance from Lieutenant Antonio. We're trying to break 4 successes, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Rolling. Oop, 1 fail. House rules. All right. I have a 10 and a 13, which are successes, and a 2, which is on the floor. So 3 successes there. And since they're all successes, I don't have to re-roll them.
And I got 1 success as well.
Okay, so that is a successful task. So now you roll your challenge dice, which is 2 plus whatever discipline you used.
All right, so that'll be 6d6 coming up. Just got to grab 1 more. I had 5 out. All right, here we go. 66. Here we go. I got a 2, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. So 3 and the 4 do nothing. The 2 and the 2 are 2s, and the 5 and the 6, or does this work differently?
Okay, so what was that total?
The numbers on the die, or am I adding them up?
No, the number of work that you did. You got 2 2s, which is 4.
A 3 and a 4, which is
nothing,
and a 5 and a 6.
Okay, so that's 6 points. That is a breakthrough. So you are now up to 10 on your work track, plus you've achieved 1 of the 4 breakthroughs that you need, or 1 of the 3 breakthroughs that you need. So now the difficulty of future tasks is reduced by 1 because you guys have figured out what you're doing. So now the difficulty goes from 4 to 3.
Woo! All right, that means it opens up opportunity for us to generate momentum later. So let's use some up, Lieutenant Antonio. Cool. That'll end my turn.
Okay, so that's everyone has acted in this round. So we go to the next round, and you guys get the initiative back. You guys can choose who goes first.
Well, since Jiral is definitely hurt and probably down, at least on a knee, if not even.
Yes, he was knocked down.
Right. I run over to stand in front of him so that the machine doesn't attack him again. And roll. Wow. Just a success and a good success. 2 successes on my phaser shot.
Okay, so 2 successes is what you need for a ranged attack. So you can roll your challenge dice.
Right. Very good. Two 6s, 2 5s, a 4, and a 1.
2 6s, 2 5s, a 4. Okay, so that's a total of 5 stressed, and I'll add 2 to it because of the advantage you guys unlocked. So that is a total of 7. That will not drop the android Frankenstein, but it activates your effect, which is knockdown. So it knocks him prone, but he's not dead.
Excellent. Excellent.
Is what I'm saying.
While I was trying to get up, I'm going full melee on this thing.
Okay.
I'm following Jiral's lead from downstairs.
Would you care to pass the initiative to a teammate by spending 2 momentum? Otherwise, it'll be the android's turn.
Yeah, because after I get that and knock it down, I look over to the engineering officers and say, kill this thing.
Okay.
System.
Yep. That'll bring you down to 2 momentum.
Whoever wants to take the lead on this, you guys figure it out, and you got the.
Okay, so you now have 2 momentum, and it is now a difficulty 3 task to try to achieve another breakthrough.
I pass the torch over. Say, just made a breakthrough. What can you do with this?
Yeah.
Sorry, Steven, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Going RoboCop there, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I think there's a virus coming.
Hello?
Yep.
Yep.
Clear.
Okay. I've rolled over this amplifier on my headset so many times that it's shorted out, I guess. Okay, so I rolled reason and science and double fail. But for my testing of theory, I can re-roll d20s as long as I've completed a previous task covering that same thing. So I'll re-roll one of them.
Okay.
I got 1 success on my assist.
Okay, I got 1 success. So that's just 2.
Okay, that will not be enough. So you guys are still working on it, but you did not achieve a breakthrough or anything off your work track there. So now that android that just got shot is going to kind of come back up on one knee, and it's going to fire its energy weapon at the commander.
Okay.
And he succeeds. See how much damage it does.
Doctor!
Nothing. So that only did 2 points of stress, and you are not knocked down. So it's kind of a grazing wound. 2 points of stress against the commander.
Okay.
And the initiative goes back to you guys.
I'm leaping at this thing, charging, and kind of like
Have you already acted this round?
flying kick at it. I got martial arts.
Have you acted this round?
Yeah, Commander started the round. He started the round. So
Yeah.
That's right.
A new round. Yeah. So I'm charging and flying kicking this thing.
Okay.
Trying actually to get it to fly back or slide right down the.
Okay, Wayne. So you've acted this round, but doing a flying drop kick is awesome. So I'm going to allow it because I want to see you succeed.
Thank you.
So go ahead and charge this android and try to do a drop kick.
Purity. Do I get one more for my martial arts?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, let's see.
So this will be an opposed roll against the androids, control plus or daring plus security.
2 out of 3 successes. Unfortunately, that 19 wasn't a 20, a critical fail. So, woo!
So yeah, the android only got 1 success, so your attack succeeds. You can roll your challenge.
Nice.
Roll my challenge dice. Let's see. That's only 4 this time. 31.
So that does 3 points. That'll actually knock down and take out that android.
All right. So I'm standing on top of its metallic carcass.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's badass. So as you are victorious, you glance up at those.
It's just giving it one more stomp, just because.
Awesome.
I am an Andorian after all. You know, I got a little of that pent-up aggression always going on. You know.
Absolutely. So the flicker of energy sort of dies out from this android, but you glance up and you see that those arms are now fashioning 2 more androids, putting them together. Seems relentless. But the initiative is back with you guys.
I shall continue the task.
Okay.
Okay. Just to make bank on this, I have a talent called Full of Potential. When you spend determination, you may add 3 bonus d20s to a task. I cannot buy d20s from you if I use this.
Right. Yep.
All right. So I'm adding 3 d20s, so I'm going to be rolling. If I start with 2 d20, I'm adding 3. I'm going to be rolling a total of 5 d20s.
Yes, sir. Yep.
For this. Whoa! And the challenge is 3. The difficulty is 3. Okay. And I'll get an assistance from you, Lieutenant Antoniou.
Okay, I got a success.
Sweet. And this will be reason and engineering. All right. I got to beat a 16. None of them are crits, but that's 4 successes and 1 fail. I got a 17.
Okay, so how many total successes? You got
5. 5. 1 from Lieutenant Antoniou and 4 from me.
Okay, so you needed 3, so that will generate 2 momentum, and you can roll your challenge dice to mark off work.
All right. Number 6. Here we go. Okay, from lowest to highest. All right. I have 2 2s, a 4, and 2 6s.
So that's a total of 6. So basically, that you get 1 breakthrough for getting 5 or more, and you also get a breakthrough for completing the work track. So that's 2 total breakthroughs, which is what you needed. So you can now narrate your successful extended task. What happens?
I guess the first thing that would be noticed is those arms that are building a new android. They start, instead of delicately placing the pieces together, they start slamming the pieces against each other, so it's just like destroying it as it's like overloading. The murky, ugly, I guess foreboding color switches to a nice light blue, more peaceful color, maybe that of what Horizon was before. You hear the amount of power going, sort of channeling through to the Overlord guy. You kind of hear that whirring of power sort of go down as the dome around him disappears, and the exterior shot, the dome around the tower disappears. And I look at Lieutenant Antoniou and I say, a job well done.
And in addition to all that, the 2 androids that were just fashioned, that were basically failed, they just kind of clattered to the ground.
All right.
You guys appear to be out of danger for the moment.
I turn to the commander. I say, contact the transporter room, Commander. It's time to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, actually, Commander, your comm badge chirps, and it's Captain Trill, and she says, Commander, you've been out of contact for well over an hour. Please report.
I'll explain when we get on board, sir. For the beam up, please.
Okay. So the transporter effect shimmers around you, and you reappear on the transporter pad of the Sojourner.
And then as we get on the pad, I smile at my my away team and say, "Job well done. You're all good day. The rest of you make your reports, and then I think we're up for a game of American football."
Anybody else care to add a postscript?
I had to the bridge to the captain.
Everybody's taken a little bit of damage except for me, right?
Yeah.
I think you and
I haven't been touched. I'm good.
Yeah.
it's okay. As
Antonio and Nosil didn't take any, so. But the little bit that I've taken, I'll worry about after I report to the captain. After that.
right.
like a true Andorian.
I'm gonna
So,
just brush some dust off my leg and look over at the commander who's probably bleeding.
Thonir, when you get up to the bridge and you make your report to the captain, you sort of walk by a couple of the computer panels. I'm going to spend 3 threat, and for a moment, you almost out of the corner of your eye, you see some sort of electrical charge flash out of your comm badge and go directly into the computer terminal.
No!
For a moment, the terminal blinks and then comes back to life, and all appears normal.
And what did? I didn't get the last part.
For a moment, the computer terminal blinked, and then it turns back on, and all appears normal.
See, I thought only the communicator was infected. I didn't know that all of us were infected.
Yeah.
Because I do have some pretty good engineering and all that. I see that and I say, "Wait a minute, Captain!" And I go over to the engineering and science councils both, and I start doing some checking.
Yeah, go ahead and just give me a difficulty 1 reason plus con task.
Reason plus con. I got 2 successes.
Okay, so you do a pretty thorough diagnostic, and you can't find any evidence that this viral worm has infiltrated the main computer of the Sojourner. But the Captain Trill, kind of comes up behind you and looks at the console, and she says, "This looks like something we'll have to be keeping an eye on." And that is how we will end the session.
Nice.
Very good.
Dude, nice.
This is awesome.
It's pretty
That was
ominous.
classic right there, man. That was good stuff. It's a TV show, you know. I mean, I was working it all and going, man, this is just like the TV show.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys. That's what I was going for.
That's great, man. I love it.
Yeah, thanks for making the time to play with me on a Friday morning.
Yeah.
You're welcome anytime.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks
I
for
like
running
that
it.
better than having to do it at night.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for playing. You can contact me anytime on Facebook. We can go over, what you liked about the adventure, what you didn't like. Hopefully, we can do it again sometime. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right.
Cool. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna turn this off.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Talk to you later.
Bye.